Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at a fisheye lens from 7Artisans, and they sent this out to me to review, and I got to tell you that I was a little bit reluctant at first because I was like, a fisheye lens, what am I going to do with that? But I'll tell you what, I haven't had this much fun with a lens in a long time, not since I got my 300mm f4. So that's just some of the things I did, and I was having a great time, and I'm really just getting started because when I first took the lens out, I was like, wow, this is so wide. You know, it's just kind of weird. I mean, I've used fisheye lenses in the past, and I've taken images, and I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. You know, you can sprinkle your portfolio a little bit with this, but you know, how often are you going to really use it? And now I feel like I'm going to take this lens with me on every photo walk because I have several other fisheye lenses, including the Olympus 8mm Fisheye Pro, and as great as those lenses are, I don't really take them out that often because they are very wide, but this 7Artisans lens, this is a 4mm. This is the first one I've taken out that gives me a full circular field of view. And I think that's what makes the difference and why I had so much fun with this lens. So before we go any further, let me get a couple things out of the way. I mean, just like the previous 7Artisans lens I tested, this one is very, very well made. All metal construction. And this time it actually comes with a metal lens hood that stays on. So I don't have to worry about it just falling off. I mean, it is friction based, but it's solid. And the aperture ring is clickless. It's not a big deal. It does come with like this little knob on the aperture ring. Where did I put that? Okay, here it is. It's just a little screw that goes onto the bottom that lets you kind of turn the aperture ring a little easier. But I found that this got in the way of the tripod mount or the Arca Swiss plate, so I just took it out. It's easy enough to adjust the aperture, you know, by turning the ring, no big deal. So here are some general specs, and you can pause here if you're looking for something specific. But generally speaking, the lens comes in multiple mounts, and it's a manual focus lens with the clickless aperture at f2.8. So it's a very fast lens, and it's actually very, very sharp. I was a little surprised, and so optically the lens is very good, aside from, you know, all the normal distortions you get with fisheye lenses, you know, flaring and aberrations, etc. But I didn't really see too much purple fringing, if at all, and that kind of thing's easily fixed in post-processing anyway. And here's how it looks on my Olympus Pen F. And I think it's a very handsome lens, very well designed. And here's how it looks on my EM1 Mark II. And there are a couple of issues you want to look out for when you're using this lens, particularly with the EM1 Mark II or really any camera that has a grip. And that is, this lens is so wide, it actually sees a little bit behind the camera. And in this case, it actually, you can get a little bit of the grip into the frame. And certainly if I'm holding this, I have a lot of pictures with my fingers in the frame. And on this camera, what I end up doing is, you know, try to hold it like this and push the button from the back. But then a lot of times when I'm framing things, my head would get into the shot. Certainly my fingers got into the shot, or even the mini tripod legs, things like that. So really, I mean, they're on the very edges of the frame, and they're very easy to fix in post-processing because the edges are very distorted anyway. So when you do any kind of healing or retouching, you know, you can clean those up very easily if you need to. But on my Pen F, I didn't really have any problems with my fingers getting into the frame, but I just had to be careful of my head and feet and things like that. But what's really cool is when the lens can see behind the camera like that, you can put the camera like up over your head, take a picture, and then you get like a tiny planet sort of field of view where the land is all the way around the edges of the frame. I mentioned before that the lens is an f2.8, so it's pretty fast, lends itself to low light shooting, so you can use faster shutter speeds and or lower ISOs. And I'm going to take it out for some street photography later, but What I found was this lens lends itself to astrophotography because it's so wide. You can leave the shutter open for as long as 30 seconds and still get tack sharp stars. Now I'm just getting started with this, but let me show you a few images that I got so far. So those last two images of the star trails, I actually used a computational feature in our Olympus OM system cameras called Live Comp. And I set the timer for 3 hours to get those nice long star trails. But I thought it was a pretty neat way to use the fisheye lens. So that's all I've been able to do so far with this lens because I've only had it a couple of weeks, but I'm just now starting to get a feel for this lens and what I can do with it. And I'm just having so much fun. In fact, I can't wait till summertime when we can see the Milky Way a little better. I'd like to do one of those tiny planet images with the Milky Way kind of going across the top. That would be really cool. So as of the making of this video, the lens is about $149, and I'll have my affiliate links down below if you'd like to buy one and support the channel. I think it's a really good deal, and you really can't put a price on that much fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.